Here's something you might not want to hear. Rejection, the thing you fear, avoid, and sometimes obsess over, might be one of your greatest teachers. Yes, it hurts. It stings in places you didn't know were raw. But that sting, that ache in your chest, it's not just about the job you didn't get or the person who didn't choose you. It's a mirror, a reflection of the insecurities you carry quietly, the questions you ask yourself when no one's looking. Am I enough? Do I matter? Was I foolish to believe in this? And that's where rejection becomes powerful. It reveals. It strips away pretense. It shows you what stories you've been telling yourself about your worth, your voice, your place in the world. Before we continue, if this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, remind us it's not the event, it's our reaction to it that shapes us. The no is external, but what you do next, that's internal. That's yours. Rejection forces you inward, and if you're brave enough to look, it shows you what still needs healing, what you've outgrown, and where your identity has been tied too tightly to outcomes. So maybe the real question isn't, why did they reject me? Maybe it's, what is this rejection trying to teach me about me? Let it teach you. Let it refine you. Because when you stop seeing rejection as punishment and start seeing it as feedback, it no longer controls you. It frees you. Rejection isn't the enemy. It's a mirror, one that shows us the parts of ourselves we often avoid. Yes, it stings. But the real pain isn't always about the opportunity lost. It's about what the no awakens in us. Fear of inadequacy, fear of being unseen, fear that maybe we were never good enough to begin with. But what if rejection is actually revealing, not of your worth, but of your hidden fears and values? That job you didn't get, the relationship that didn't work, the pitch that got turned down. It's not always a reflection of your ability, but a signal, a call to check in with yourself. Why does this hurt so much? What am I really afraid of? Stoic wisdom teaches us to separate what we can control from what we can't. You can't control how others respond, but you can control what you learn from it. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," and rejection is a perfect example. We don't just mourn what didn't happen. We assign meaning to it. I wasn't good enough. They didn't believe in me. But those are stories, not facts. Rejection forces clarity. It pushes you to refine your voice, sharpen your vision, and strengthen your self-belief. The writer improves their characters. The designer redefines their creative voice. The entrepreneur adjusts their pitch. Each no becomes a pivot point, not an ending. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Rejection isn't the wall. It's the redirection. It doesn't close your future. It reshapes it. The truth is, every rejection holds power, not because of what it takes away, but because of what it reveals and what it makes possible. And if you're willing to listen to what it's trying to show you, you don't just bounce back, you rise better. So the next time life says no, don't crumble. Reflect, adapt, grow. Because rejection, when seen through the right lens, is never the end of your story. It's the sharpening of your voice. The Stoics believed true strength is forged through adversity. Seneca famously said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." In modern terms, rejection is one of life's ways of testing your resilience, not to break you, but to reveal where you still need to grow. When you face rejection and choose to reflect rather than react, you begin the real work, strengthening your inner foundation. It's not about punishing yourself or dwelling in self-doubt. It's about using the experience to build fortitude. You're stress testing your mindset, learning where your belief systems are fragile, and choosing to reinforce them with clarity and intention. To grow from rejection, we must change how we define failure and success. They're not opposites, they're partners in the process of transformation. Every setback holds a lesson if we're willing to pause and ask, what is this teaching me about myself? This is where Stoic practice comes in. Tools like daily reflection, honest journaling, and open dialogue with mentors help turn pain into wisdom. They help us alchemize the emotional weight of rejection into strength, clarity, and emotional intelligence. As you do this, something powerful happens. You begin to respond rather than react. You gain grace under pressure. You start supporting others through their own struggles. Your resilience becomes a force that doesn't just lift you, it uplifts everyone around you. But building strength from rejection also demands a deeper kind of courage, the courage to confront your shadow. This idea, rooted in both Stoicism and Jungian psychology, asks you to face the parts of yourself you tend to reject or hide. Your insecurities, fears, pride, or wounds from the past. These aren't flaws to suppress. They're invitations to understand and integrate your full self. Take the example of a successful executive who struggles to delegate. On the surface, it's a leadership challenge, but underneath, there may be a deeper fear of losing relevance, of no longer being needed. That fear is her shadow, and when her team's feedback feels like rejection, it's really a mirror, reflecting what she hasn't yet accepted in herself. True transformation begins when we stop running from that reflection. Through mindful self-inquiry, journaling, or stillness, we begin to see the roots of our patterns. We realize, for example, that the need for control may come from past moments of being unseen or dismissed. But here's the beauty. Once you understand the source, you can rewrite the response. That same executive can begin leading not from fear, but from trust, turning her vulnerability into strength and her leadership into something more grounded and whole. Rejection doesn't have to weaken you. In fact, when seen clearly, it does the opposite. It points the way to deeper self-awareness, wiser choices, and a life shaped not by fear of failure, but by a deep commitment to becoming your truest self. Rejection, then, isn't the end. It's the beginning of integration. It's not a sign of inadequacy, but a signal. This is where you grow next. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.